welcome back to my channel. I'm Liz and we do homeschool videos here on Blue and Hazel and curriculum reviews. Today's video, I'm going to share all of the resources that I really enjoy using for homeschool kindergarten. I have a few goals for kindergarten in general, and I try to do a math curriculum by the end of the year, a reading book to get my kids just started on learning how to read. And generally speaking, we try to get them learning how to write their letters in kindergarten. And so I have a curriculum for each one of those things. And then the rest of it is play and hands-on stuff and doing life as a family, and we read a ton of books. If you do nothing else, I feel like just read, and read picture books, read nature books, read how things work books. We also watch shows about animals. We love watching Wild Kratts, and we've watched pretty much all 16 seasons. Judge me if you want, but my kids know so many animal facts that I will just never know because they watch so many Wild Kratts. At this age, you really don't need anything formal for history. You don't need anything formal for science. This year we have a third grader, a second grader, and a kindergartner. And this will be my third time doing homeschool kindergarten. And so my thoughts on kindergarten have changed a little bit since having my first and my second go through it. I don't feel the pressure like I used to feel to force a certain curriculum or to force a certain pace. I've seen all three of my kids be ready for different things at age 5, at age 5.5, at age 6, and so you really don't need to squeeze in a million things. Let me show you what we use. For teaching my kids to read in kindergarten, we've used Teach Your Child to Read in 100 Easy Lessons, and some love this book, some hate it. I kind of feel a little bit of both towards it, and it's worked for us, and so I just haven't tried really to switch anything else. So we're using this with my kindergartner this year, round 3, and typically with my other two kids, I've gone through this in about a year. So we go really slowly. Generally speaking, their attention span is like 5 to 10 minutes for this book, and so or for pretty much any subject we're doing, and so maybe 15 on a really good day. And then when he starts to flake out and look at other things and kind of become uninterested, we put a bookmark in it and then we start there the next day. This is a phonics-based program, so they're learning all of the sounds and they're learning to blend the sounds. Nice big letters and easy for the parent. Everything in red is exactly what you say, and you'll learn how to do this just by starting in lesson 1. Pretty soon into the book, the letters get a little bit smaller and they add some picture stories to go along with it. My son and all my kids have really enjoyed their silly stories, and they ask them questions about the story at the end. And this is just lesson 13 here, and they're already reading their first little sentence. Let me show you where it starts to get a little bit longer. We're already at lesson 30 here. If you need to take a break, it's okay. We've actually taken way too long of breaks and seen regression with my other kids. So I'm going to try this time around to be a little more consistent and not take a month off at a time, because that really does affect their ability to do reading. But you can see by the end here, this is 2/3 the way through the book probably. It gets long. Once they start to really show interest, I feel like around age 5, maybe even age 6, this book is really great. One other thing I wanted to mention about the reading lesson book is that if your kiddo doesn't know how to say all the letters or recognize the letters, like my kindergartner doesn't, he doesn't necessarily know an S is an S or that a V is a V. He doesn't really know his alphabet. He can sing the alphabet, he can recognize his name, but he doesn't know the names of all the letters. And yes, I get that's a preschool skill, but I also personally don't believe it's necessary to learn the letter names. They naturally will learn that. And the reason I say that is because my oldest child and my third child learned to read before they learned the letter names, and then they just naturally picked up the letter names later on. But just know that kids can totally learn how to read without knowing the letter names, and they will naturally pick up the letter names so quickly. You don't need a curriculum for it. You don't need to pound it in. You don't need a letter of the week activity if you don't want. Like, they will learn that on their own naturally. So just an encouragement for you there. The next thing is math. And my second grader is doing the second grade math with confidence, and then she did first grade last year. We loved it. It's very hands-on. And my oldest is doing a Singapore math, and I feel like I really like that Kate Snow used to recommend Singapore math before she made her own curriculum. So I really like that a lot of the methods in here are similar. The way that they're learning to just develop a solid number sense, how they learn to group numbers by 5s and 10s and tons of visuals. This is just fantastic. I have a YouTube video I will put in the description that's all about this. This little skinny one is all the worksheets that come with it. It's not a lot. It's 1 page a day, front and back. This would be like one day, this would be another day. This would be one day, this would be another day. So he initially just wanted to fly through this, and he was trying to do, which is fine. Like if your kid can do, 2 weeks worth in a day, let him do it. That's fine. Like, you can catch up to where it starts to get harder and it will slow down. But the way the curriculum is really made is to utilize this instructor's guide, and it's really thick. And so it's what you're gonna find full of visuals and games, and it tells you exactly what to say if you need help with what to say. Don't skip this, because this is the meat of the program. And if you were to only grab the worksheets, then you would think this is a dumb program. Like, this is nowhere near enough math for my kid. And you'd be right, because what they're doing, and I love this about Kate's method, is she's making it fun and visual. So they're gonna have hands-on stuff in here. They're going to use coins. They're going to be jumping while they're counting. They're going to be playing games. And I remember we did shapes with straws, and we do a lot of work with like these number cards that she has you make, just these number cards as you go on index cards. So you don't have to technically buy any math manipulatives, but I would recommend buying a few that we use all the time. Tangrams, so you can get these on Amazon, and I got this container at Target, and we just store them in here and use these a lot, and the kids also just play with them. The other thing, these stacking math cubes are really great. I got these on Amazon, and they come in sets like 10 colors with 10 cubes in each, and so that's really handy. We use this a lot for like trying to show different groups when we're adding up to 10. So like 6 and 4, we could use different colors, and just, it's a nice visual for when we're using this on the 10 frame. It comes with a 10 frame, so you could just print this out or copy this, and that would be fine. It does come with number tracing, so you could put this in a plastic sleeve and have them copy it, and that's fine. But I had already made a resource that my other kiddos have used and loved. It's in my Etsy shop, I'll link below, but it's like a number tracing worksheet where they follow the dinosaur. In the beginning, when we started math, we had no idea how to write numbers. We would do like a tracing page each day with math, just because he didn't know how to do any of those numbers yet, and it was like he was having to write the numbers down in his worksheet like right away, I'd say. And so, yeah, he just needed way more practice. I forget sometimes that it's okay if we don't do math today. It's okay if we don't do a reading lesson today. Like, they're little kids, they're learning all the time when they're playing Legos and building things and coloring and reading, being read stories to and things like that. But I do just feel like in my mom checkbox brain that if we do a reading lesson and a math lesson each time we do school, it's starting the habit for them of like, okay, we're progressing a little bit each day in those areas, and then they're kind of getting the habit of like, oh, I'm in school, I'm in kindergarten, this is school time or whatever. Kindergarten is kind of the age where we start learning some basic handwriting and tracing the letters. I have done that with my oldest in preschool, and I think with him, I just felt pressure to keep up with what preschoolers were doing. And so I was really like, okay, we're gonna learn how to write our letters. We're gonna learn how to trace our letters. And then as I saw like that was a struggle for him, and it wouldn't have been as much of a struggle if I would have just waited, it got way easier for him to write letters as he got to be older because he was ready for it. Like, we actually had to take a big break with my oldest and let him just play with Legos and Play-Doh and strengthen those hands. And it made a huge difference in him being able to write all the letters without being really tired and really frustrated. So then my second kid came along and she taught herself to write all the letters. Like, I swear I did not even plan that. She just, you know, had a little book and she wanted to copy everything, and then she started writing on paper, and she's very like still like that as a second grader. And so that's just her brain. It works like that. And then it kind of gave me the courage to slow down with my third and say, you know what, I'm not going to push, you know, teaching him how to write all these letters in preschool. I'm going to wait till kindergarten, and he'll be a little bit more developmentally like older, and it'll be a little easier to teach him. And so far it has been. We started with Kickstart Kindergarten, and I think this was perfect for him. I also got the Handwriting Without Tears chalkboard. So this is just in the very beginning stages of writing a letter. We take a chalkboard, and it teaches you how to do that in the book, and it also teaches you how to do that in the orange kindergarten book. So I'll just show you real quick inside. It starts with what they call frog jump capitals, and they're learning how to write P and B, and then you can see it's going to teach you exactly how to write the letters, and you do this with your kids on the chalkboard. We dip a little piece of sponge. Say we were learning how to write capital D. We'd start at the smiley face, and I'd go down, around, and then he would next take this little bitty piece of chalk. They have you take chalk in these tiny pieces to teach them good like grip. And then they would go down, around, and then they would take their eraser and do those exact same steps again to erase it. This is Kickstart Kindergarten. The next one is orange, which is called, I think, Letters and Numbers for Me. Okay, so this is probably not necessary for kindergarten, but my kindergartner wanted to because his older siblings have a binder. We call it our Homeschool Binder, and just kind of keeps everything in one spot. Inside of it, I have a pocket, and this just holds like pencils, glue stick, scissors, and then it also holds all of these cards. These are the number cards for math that we use, and there are basically 4 sets of 1 through 10 with a plus, minus, equal sign, and then some 11 through 20 numbers. And I made these. I'll stick these in my Etsy shop for you. We also do a calendar time, and he loves doing this. So we do like what day it is, the month, the day of the month. Yesterday was, tomorrow is, the weather, the season, and we can cross out the days if he wants to find what the day is and any special things coming up that month. I just laminated these little other pieces that he would trade in and out, and I used these Velcro sticky things. I will put all that down in the description if you want to know like exactly what I used to make this binder. We have a phone number printable in here. I have not really used this much with him yet, but I do want him to memorize my phone number, so that would be a good kindergarten goal. And once again, I have the number tracing in here for him, and then just some loose paper, and then his handwriting booklet. We try to do a library haul like every 2 weeks. I used to go more often, and it's just harder for me to get there now. I try to reserve a bunch of kids' books online, and then also just go to the kids section and just grab. This is just an example of some of the books I have that I will read my kindergartner probably this week and next week. And these are all library books. I don't really own any or very many books, just based on our storage right now and the fact that we're still moving for my husband's work and things like that, so we just haven't really gone big on buying books. In our math curriculum, I love this about Kate Snow's books. She has a bunch of math recommendations, and these are all on her website too. If you don't use her math, just go to her website and look up Kate Snow kindergarten read aloud books or math books, and they'll all pop up there. They're awesome. So these are just some from the recommendations I got at the library. And these are just kind of some other ones that I'll be reading aloud. And here's some more rhyming books. And then DK books, if you're not used to DK books, my kindergartner loves these. He can't read anything in there, but he loves the pictures so much. He will open them up and look how amazing the pictures are. Like every single book they have is just like this. Here's some more: pull, lift, and lower, roll, slope, and slide. My all-time favorite kindergarten book, Go Dog Go. Teaching prepositions. This one's just like the best ever. If you don't own it, go buy it. It's so great. Anyways, I hope this helps you with just picking out kindergarten homeschool curriculum. I hope that it encourages you to go the pace of your kiddo and to not feel pressure to like overbook your day. I think our kindergarten day takes us about 30 minutes to do school stuff, and the rest of it really is just play. Play. He does tons of drawing. He does tons of Legos. We love these things called snapships, where he puts together all of these cool spaceships. We do a lot of nature study together as a family. We just do a lot of life together. Let me know if you have any questions, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe for more homeschool videos. All right, we'll see you next time.